Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are wrapping up our software lesson with something powerful, the interfaces. By the end of this video, you will understand how humans and computers communicate in every environment. What is an interface? An interface is a point of interactions between two systems or components, allowing them to communicate and exchange information. Why are interfaces important in technology? Is that interfaces are crucial in technology because they enable different softwares, hardware, and systems to work together seamlessly. They provide standardized way for different components to interact and ensure compatibility. We have so many types of interfaces. The interfaces type, what it does, and examples. We have the hardware interfaces, the software interfaces, and the user's interfaces. We have web interface, network interface, NIC, and voice user interface. Let us go in detail. Talk about them one after the other. Let's start with hardware interfaces. We know what hardware is. Now, the hardware interface is the physical connections that allow two devices to communicate and exchange data. It defines the electrical, mechanical, and signal rules that make devices compatible with each other. Example of this is USB, HDMI, and the Ethernet. Now, the hardware interfaces example. The examples here, like the USB Universal Serial Bus, the HDMI, the High Definition Multimedia Interface, and Ethernet. Let's talk about them briefly. The Universal Serial Bus, USB, which all of us are familiar with, is a standard hardware interface used to connect devices like keyboard, flash drives, and printers to a computer. It allows fast data transfer and power delivery. Now, the High Definition Multimedia Interface HDMI is a hardware interface that carries high quality audio and video signals between devices such as computers, monitors, TVs, and projectors. What about the Ethernet? It's a networking interface that connects computers to wired networks to provide stability or stable high-speed communication for internet and local network accesses. Now, the software interface. What is the software interface and what is the meaning? From our various lessons we have had about software, but now we are talking about the software interface, which allows different programs or software components to communicate. It defines how data is shared among and between devices, how it functions, and how applications interact with the operating system and other software. Example, APIs and the operation system interfaces. Now, the software interfaces example, as we already know them. The application programming interface, API, is a software interface that allows different applications to communicate. It defines rules for how programs request and exchange data. That is what this interface does. The operation system interface, which is under software interface, is an interface that allows applications to interact with the operation system. It provides functions for tasks like file accesses, memory management, and device control. That is what that does. User's interface. What is user's interface? As part of a computer system that allows humans to interact with the machine. It provides a visual, textual, and physical control that helps users give command and receive feedback. Example of this is graphical user interface, GUI, and command line interface with touch screen interface. What makes these interfaces? Let's explain just a little. Interface is a connection, a communication, a mediator, a middleman. It is that makes it possible for you to connect from one device to the other. I'm going to show you an example. We are going to look at the examples of the interfaces here, the icons, the menu, the windows, things you see every day, how it works. Now, the user's interface, which is the GUI, and the command line interface, the touch screen. This is how they work. A GUI is a visual interface, very visual, that uses icon, it uses windows and buttons to help users interact with a computer easily. The command line interface, CLI, is a text-based interface where users type command to control the computer. It is powerful and used by IT professionals. The screen touch interface, which you know about, you use it in your mobiles. If you don't have laptop, if you don't have desktop, these are things you can use in your mobile phone. How does it work? It connects you, the user, and the operation system, the applications in your phone. It is through this screen touch interface that you can reach them. It's a mediator, as I said, a connection of communication. A touchscreen interface allows users to interact directly with the screen using tap, swipe, and gesture. It is common on phone, tablets, and kiosk. This is the examples of interface. Watch this diagram or look at this diagram. Examples of interface. You can see These are things you see every day and day in your life. As you open your laptop, you see icons, you see the command, the menu. When you click at each or any of them, the window will open and will take you to a particular application. And you click on it, you will see exactly what you wanted. This is what we call GUI, provided by the operation system for a human to interact with his computer system, to communicate. That is what interface is. If you don't know what interface is, know it today that interface is a mediator. Interface is a means of communication between devices. A GUI is an interface you see, you click. It uses icons. These are the icons, the buttons, windows, the menu, and visuals to help users interact with a computer without typing command. These are the examples here. Now, let's see another example, which is the command line interface, mostly used by professionals. This one requires you to type in command, and you have to memorize the command. You have to know the command. This is why it is mostly for professionals. It is a command, a text-based interface where you interact with a computer system by typing command. It doesn't have graphical element like windows or buttons, no, but rather requires you to enter command and parameters. Text-based. It is fast and powerful. Requires command knowledge. Example is CMD, PowerShell, Linux terminal. This is what CLI, command line interface, looks like and what it does behind the scene. Now, this is web interface. Web interface, example, you can talk about NIC, network interface card. It has a configuration page. It's a web interface, an interface you access through a browser to control a device or service. When you open your URL, type in whatever website, where you want to go, you want to configure. This is the interface that makes it possible for you to browse, make it possible for you to configure devices. This is an interface you access through a browser. If you have ever typed the IP address to configure a router or a web interface, this is the interface, this is the root, this is the process, this is the way you can do it, how you can reach to web interface. Now we have voice user interface, VUI. What is VUI? It's a voice interface. It lets you, a user, to interact with a system using their voice instead of typing, instead of clicking. This is where voice is needed. You speak into the command and you receive a response. Something like Eliza, Google Assistant, and Siri. Some of us have it in our homes, whereby you speak to them, they respond. They are the source of interface, the source of communication by speaking. That one is not by typing, it's not by clicking. That is why interface is very, very important. Now, we said it before, the web, the voice, we have network interface, which we have mentioned here. So this is some of the things we have for you today. You now understand the entire communication system between humans and computers through the interface, which help you to communicate, to interact with your computer devices. All the icons, all the menus, the windows on your desktop, they are the means that you can do what? Communicate with your computer. They are called your interfaces. Please share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next lesson. Once you understand interfaces, you understand how the digital world communicates. Learn. Be anxious to learn. And take care of yourself. Bye.